luckily, na-approve yung visa. But then I was still working as a medical representative in the Philippines. So, when I got here, parang wala talaga akong concrete plan. And like, 3 years after here, almost 3 years after here, I'm now working in the superannuation industry, which I really love because when I was still in the Philippines, I used to sell life insurance. So I was once working, not really working, but I was a financial consultant. If you work for life insurance, so it's one of the top 5 life insurances in the Philippines. Pagkakaiba lang ng life insurance sa Pilipinas, tsaka dito is, kasi sa Pilipinas meron na tayong variable life insurance, in which yung life insurance mo, your premiums are invested in a fund. Dito kasi, the life insurance, they're still practicing the traditional life insurance. So your life insurance, you're paying premiums basically for that cover. Yan lang yan. So there's no fund performance. Why? It's because meron na tayong tinatawag na superannuation. So kung you are already like working full-time or even part-time or casual work, so alam mo ba ano sabihin na super? What do you think is super to you?
Ang idea ko lang is, this is a fund na magagamit mo once you retire. So, parang
Yes, that's
it's a
right.
fund for retirement.
So, your superannuation is one way of funding or saving your money to retire. So, yun yung purpose ng super. So, I'll just give you a brief history of how superannuation came about in Australia. It's because sometime around 40 years ago, lahat ng tao sa Australia, they're on pension. They're on state pension. So, when you retire, regardless of anong income mo, whether you're rich or poor, you'll get a pension from the state. But then they've noticed na as time went on, tumaas yung percentage ng aging population. Kasi at this point, the aging population comprises about 25% of the Australian population. Tapos, lumiit yung workforce. So what happens? Who pays the taxes? The working population. Tapos yung aging population is the one that gets the pension. So parang magkakaroon ng balance. Kasi maliit lang yung percentage of the people na nag-pay ng tax, tapos maraming nag-receive ng pension. So what the government did, so they created this scheme, so they call it superannuation. So superannuation actually, ano yun, it's a tax incentive strategy aside from being what we call this one. The main purpose is for way to save for your retirement, but also actually a tax incentive strategy. Kasi mayroong tax incentives once you contribute to your super. So mangyayari kasi, pag nag-contribute ka ng super, malalesen yung government na magbibigay ng state pension. Kasi ngayon, pag nagbibigay ng government, at this point, pag nagbibigay yung gobyerno ng state pension, gobyerno dito sa Australia, you are subject to income and asset test. So hindi ka bibigyan ng pension pag malaking income, malaking asset. So nagkakaroon ng balance. So maganda din yun na strategy kasi nga, wala naman tayo sa Pilipinas. So what do you think is the equivalent of a superannuation in the Philippines? Do you think meron tayo?
Yes. But it's not.
Not really.
In the sense that you can get it from once you retire. But
Yeah. But do you think?
and it's deducted, every year.
That's
the only thing.
that's the
Similarity.
bad thing. Really, na. Kasi nga, in the Philippines, it's deducted from your gross salary. And SSS and GSIS, they're not really investments. They're just there, and then you can just get it once you retire.
And it's so small.
Diba? So that's mainly the equivalent of a superannuation here in Australia. And in America, meron din sila tinatawag na 401k, private fund. But usually, people in America,
They have IRA also.
no?
Roth IRA.
IR.
IRA. Roth
Yeah.
Which is really good. So, like they say for just an average working
example, because you've been in America for quite some time, so if you work here full time, does the employer pay you? Like, will the employer contribute? Does your employer contribute?
No, but the taxes are much lower, right?
Okay.
So it's like, it's give and take, the same thing. Yeah, so here, the tax is 45. I have to pay 42% of my
That's marginal, no?
Yeah.
Pero kasi ako, I'm not really giving, like what Gracie said, so we're not really giving personal advice, just like to give you a rough idea what superannuation is all about.
I got a question. Do you know anything about managing your own super fund?
That's
Another
that's actually
story.
another topic, and
Yeah.
that's a very
Complicated.
it's a very complicated topic. I think you're referring to self-managed super fund.
I was thinking about it.
Yeah, it's a good one, but you have to take into consideration your personal circumstance.
Yeah.
Kasi,
you'll have in having if you're planning for a self-managed super fund, it's like yeah, definitely you'll have very very high flexibility in what investments that you can be able to invest on, but at the same time it can be in order for it to be cost effective, you need to have a certain minimum amount before you, because it costs marginally higher than the normal industry or retail fund. So say for instance if you only have a balance of around 20K and then your cost to run the self-managed super fund is around 2,000 a year, so it would be like 10% of your total fund will be eaten up within a year. So yeah, it's a bit more complicated than the normal retail or industry fund which John will be talking about.
yeah, just to cut it short, usually the main purpose of self-managed super funds is it to buy properties. Yeah, you may need them. But yeah, it's up to you. So you can go to a financial advisor and yun nga, sasabihin niya sa'yo if it's good or not good for you. Kasi self-managed super fund, you'll become the trustee. Ikaw ang habulin ng LTO. Kasi you have to comply with the
Various
various regulations. That's the thing. Pero kasi nga, medyo sidetrack na. Kasi nga, self-managed super fund, uso ngayon eh. Kaya nakakawali yung mga tao. Pero, usually, when they venture into self-managed super fund, they end up like, they freak out because dami bang gagawin. Tapos, usually the ones who go into self-managed super fund, mga working, wala na silang time. So they would end up hiring like an accountant, hiring an administrator, which will end up like become more expensive to you. Usually maganda sa super fund pag malaki talaga yung parang
The bigger your balance will be,
the balance.
the more beneficial self-managed super fund will be for you.
Pero to tell you, uso siya. So back sa
How much do you need to have? 500,000?
no, that I can't tell you.
They
because,
say-
there's
they
no
say-
minimum amount.
There's no minimum amount. You can go in as if you have 10,000. If you want to set up a self-managed super fund, you can do that. But then again, as what I mentioned earlier, if your cost will be 2,000 per year, so effectively, assuming that you have 10% growth sa fund mo, so magiging 11,000. But then again, you will end up paying 2,000 per year. So net effect, you are out of pocket by 1,000 per year, so magiging 9,000 net amount after 1 year. So there's some cost implication to self-managed. Minimum. There's an average study that says that you need around
30 to 40% of if it's going to be converted to an SMSF for the sole purpose of buying property.
I think that's a different scenario.
Yeah.
That's leverage. You're playing leverage kasi, but if you're just if your purpose is to create a self-managed super fund for the sake of buying shares here, buying shares there, you probably would need around easily more than 100K for you to run your
That's not so bad.
your fund cost effectively. There's no
Yeah.
exact answer to this one essentially.
Yeah, 100K is not so much.
Kasi with my stepsister, I talked to her once and she told me, an advisor, she was advised to have at least 150K, but then it's a case-to-case basis. Because some will roll over their money to a self-managed super fund for an account balance of 2K. So parang when I process these payments, pero sa kanya na yun eh. It's up to her. So, yun. So it's really a case-to-case basis. Yun yung maganda dito kasi meron, you have the prerogative to like what to do with your super fund. It's up to you kung gusto mo ba sa malaking fund or you self-managed super fund. But I will deal with that later because there are lots of types of super funds aside from self-managed super fund. So, back tayo sa basics about superannuation. So yun nga, the purpose is to save for your retirement. Ang maganda kasi sa Australia, if you notice, Australia has only like 25 to 27 million people. But then, Australia has the 4th largest retirement pool in the world. It's because of this very effective scheme, the superannuation scheme. Kasi nga, I would really consider myself or very lucky because some countries don't do it. Like, if you're working, your super is on top of your gross salary or your ordinary time earnings or your OT. So halimbawa, pag meron kang job offer na 50,000 a year, meron tayong tinatawag na superannuation guarantee. So which means, the employer is obliged to contribute at least 9.5% of your gross salary. So, halimbawa, if you computed 9.5% of your 50,000K na
35,000.
na gross salary, halimbawa, ang bayad ng sweldo mo is every fortnight, i-divide mo yun by 12, 2, yun yung parang i-contribute sa employer mo to your super fund. Now the question is, sino nagko-contribute ng super fund? Alam natin what is superannuation. So, do you have any questions? No? So, and then, alam natin what it is for, and alam natin sino nagko-contribute. It's usually the employer because it caters mostly to the working population. So, it's not only the employer who can contribute to your super fund. Sino pa ba, do you have any idea who else can contribute to your super fund?
Me.
Yes, it's true. It's yourself. So you can top up your super fund aside from the employer. So if you have your super fund, pwede kang mag-top up doon. Kaysa ilagay mo siya sa savings account mo, you can top up your money to your super fund. And also, aside from employer and aside from yourself, the government can also co-contribute to your super fund. So halimbawa, if you contribute after tax personal super fund, not from the employer, the government usually on a case-to-case basis will contribute 50% of that. Or, pag meron kang low income, pag halimbawa, lagay natin below 35, pwede din mag-contribute ang government a certain percentage for that. Because they're encouraging people to contribute to your super fund. Kasi nga, the point is, it lessens their spending on pension. So, pag once nag-contribute ka, kaya binibigyan ka ng mga tax incentives. Kasi nga, nalilesen yung pension. So, in the end, save pa rin yung government. So, yun yung ng self-managed super fund. So, the tanong is, alam na natin sino nagko-contribute. So, ang tanong, paano tayo mag-apply for super fund? So, with with that. So how did you what do you call this one?
Start?
How did you become an executive?
You need to be executive first.
So when you got the job and they give you a job offer and then those papers to fill out. So anong ginawa mo with the super fund? Did you ask your manager, whatever, the HR? So what was the process na nag-enroll ka for your super fund?
Ano lang yung HR, pinakontak nila sa akin yung executive super fund, tapos may pinadala silang form, tapos after that, pinilapan ko, tapos parang
Executive super fund lang pinapunta. Bakit executive super fund?
kasi yun yung ano nila default superannuation company na partner.
Okay. Yung executive super fund ba, ano ba siya? Is it exclusive to
KPMG?
KPMG?
Hindi. Basta lang mo, basta dapat executive ka. Exclusive lang yun sa mga executive. Basta kahit anong company, medyo lang. Hindi ko alam bro eh.
Pero, sinabihan ka ba ng HR mo na aside from executive super fund, sinabihan ka ba na you can choose any other fund?
Sinabihan nila. Pero
Pero,
hindi na ako nag-open nag-ano kasi hindi pa ako nakakapag-research eh. So,
usually, mostly the cases are, kasi pag natanggap mo ng trabaho, ayaw mo na kasi para matapos na lahat ng process. Usually, ang pipiliin mo, yung anong in-offer mo.
correct.
So, with my case, with my second job, when I worked in an aged care, dalawa yung pina-offer nila sa akin. HESTA and First Aid Super. First Aid Super, I will explain it later. It's it's not a retail. Is it a retail fund? It's not a retail fund. It's mostly catering to healthcare.
Hesta is healthcare.
No, HESTA is an industry fund.
Yeah, industry healthcare.
Yes. So, meron tayong tinatawag ng industry fund. So, dalawa. Yung pinili ko, HESTA. So, nung pumili ka, by the time you were filling out the form, ano nasa isip mo? Parang sa supervision.
Ayos, meron akong future na magagamit pag nag-retire.
Yun na para ano.
Hindi ko papasok sa isip. Or, and also sana, nag-wish ka rin na sana mag-earn yung fund ng malaki.
Pero, nakita mo yung form, meron ang tawag ito, yung different investments.
Ayun, meron nga. Although, wala, basta pigod lang ako eh.
Default.
Super option.
Pero common naman yun eh. Kasi usually, they say 2/3 daw ng population of Australia, they don't really care about super. Kasi nangyayari, when you work, hindi naman yan, you work there for the rest of your life, magiging iba-iba yun. Ang nangyayari, kada work mo, iba-iba yung super fund mo. So parang yung tao, hindi na naman malayan, marami silang account sa iba-ibang fund. Tapos, by the time they retire, naguguluhan sila. Anong fund na meron sila? So, yun yung common na case. So, yun nga. So, usually that happens. Kaya meron tayong rollover. But I'll explain that later. So, meron ka na yung scenario ngayon is meron ka ng super fund because you already started with the job. Now, the next question is, pina-follow up mo ba yung super fund? Hindi na din. Pero, dun sa payslip mo, nakikita mo, di ba, how much is the contribution? Kasi nilalagay naman yan.
Hindi ko nakikita. Basta nakikita ko na credit sa account ko. Usually naman consistent yun eh. So pag medyo nag-fluctuate yung number, tsaka ako lang i-check. Pero pag consistent yung amount ko pasok, hindi ko i-check eh.
Pero
Wala akong
consistent
pakinggan.
naman
Wala akong
talaga
pakinggan.
kasi it's mandatory naman sa employer na mag-contribute sa super mo.
Ano?
Mandatory yung employer na dapat mag-contribute sa super. Bawal yun.
Hindi niya actually
By law,
napapansin,
na-
sumweldo na pala siya.
Oo.
Hindi niya napapansin, uy, sweldo na pala. Dami ko pang pera. Joke.
So meron tayong tinatawag na, kasi alam mo na meron yung contribute na money. Pero ang tanong ngayon, alam niyo ba kung magkano pinakontribute?
9.5%.
Ako nakikita ko siya kasi minsan titingnan ko yung super fan ko. Nakikita ko yung mga deductions, whatever it is na chinuse ko. So, basically, hindi lahat ng 9.5% na pupunta sa super fan mo, di ba? So,
Yes.
parang meron kang insurance, meron kang something, basta may mga deductions lagi.
Okay.
Based on.
Yeah. It is 9.5%. That's the superannuation guarantee. Yung tinatawag na superannuation guarantee. It's by law that the employer has to contribute 9.5% on top of your gross income. So halimbawa, pag sumisweldo ka ng 1,000 every week gross, so the employer will contribute $95 dun sa super fund. Now that $95, yun nga sinasabi mo kasi you're saying that it's not really 9.5% because there are fees.
Yep.
And usually, kasi meron na tayong law by 2007 na pag ang employee hindi pipili ng 2017. Hindi, noong 2007. Way back 2007. Pag ang employee hindi pipili ng super fund, pipili siya ng super fund, pero hindi niya alam anong type ng super fund ng company. Dapat obliged ng company na magkaroon sila ng my super. So it's a default fund with low fees, limited investment. It's very particular on fees. Maliit lang ang fees. Kasi nga, usually pag start ng job, wala ka namang alam.
Yeah.
Tapos wala nang time mapapa-advise. So, yun nga, pipiliin nila my super. So yun tawag, every super fund has a my super account. Iba-iba lang yung pangalan nila. So, kasi with me, because I administer Virgin Super, yung tawag ng my super nila essentials. So doon yung pupunta yung mga tao hindi pipili ng investment.
Paano yung hindi nakabisa risk? Risk of risk?
No, yes, like lowest risk.
No, that's
Not necessarily, pero ano lang, limited growth,
Risky siya.
lower fees,
Lower risk.
and mas sure siya na hindi subject to fluctuation, you know.
I remember the exact definition of my super. I studied this one 2 weeks back now.
Yeah.
So my super are usually the underlying investments in a typical my super fund are usually very well diversified. Like you can have a mixture of properties, fixed income, properties, what else?
Australian
Even
shares.
cash.
So
Yeah.
basically, what does it differ from the rest?
It's
The fees.
now the fees is usually very
Very low.
very low. So they can slug the employee with a very high fee of around anything that's more than 1% is high. So usually I don't think there are any my super options that are more than 1%.
Kasi ang nangyayari, mostly, employees are very apathetic with super kasi they don't see the money. It's just being contributed to a super fund. So ngayon, meron ng law to protect the people. So I think my super was created against that. And then, meron tayong tinatawag na that my super account can also be a life stage. So halimbawa, we call it life stage. So halimbawa, pinabracket nila by age. So, from 20 to 30 years old, usually people there at that age bracket are aggressive. So they will diversify the funds in a way it's more aggressive. And then when you get older, medyo magiging parang balance na yung diversification of funds. So, yung investment mix mo sa super fund mo mag-change as you grow older. Automatically. Yung tinatawag na life stage. Pero hindi lahat ng super fund mayroong life stage. That's why you have to check. Pag may super siya na plain na may super, ganun na talaga ang investment until you retire. Pero hindi naman natin malalaman kasi the legislations here they keep on changing. So baka meron na mabago na. Ganun dito eh.
Yeah.
So yun yung purpose ng my super. Now, the superannuation guarantee is 9.5%. And then yun nga, hindi siya 9.5% kasi nga, merong fees. Meron tayong iba-ibang fees. Now, what are these fees? Meron tayong tinatawag na administration fees. So, kasi your super fund is being administered. So, minomonitor siya. So, the fee pays for the administration. And we also have, kasi yung super fund mo, part ng my super, the very purpose bakit tinate yung my super na initiative is because so that people can have life insurance within a super fund. So medyo ma-explain ako dito further kasi this is my job with Mercer. So I work with adding life insurance to the super fund members. Now, kung na-notice nyo sa Pilipinas, paano ka kukuha ng life insurance? Ikaw, Kiko, pag nag-work sa Pilipinas, paano ka kukuha ng life insurance?
One possibility is go to the banks. Nag-offer din sila ng mga life insurance or may mga special companies din talaga for life insurance.
Pero you buy it separately.
Yes.
Okay. So, ganun sa Pilipinas, you buy it separately. Now, here, you can also buy it separately as a retail policy. But then, your super fund has already a automatic na life insurance cost na hindi alam ng kadalasan. Kasi kadalasan, kahit ako dati, kumuha ako ng life insurance. Tapos, parang nag-double pay ka na. So, ang super fund mo, meron yung life insurance. But it's a group life insurance. So, when you say group, it's basically by units. So, it changes as you grow older. So, liliit yung population mo as you grow older. Ganun lang yun. It's very simple. Pero, I'm just telling you na meron life insurance yung super fund mo unless papatanggal mo siya. Pwede mo siyang tatanggal para hindi na mag-deduct sa fees.
So it means all, basically, all workers here, all those who are
Insured.
life insured.
Yes, insured.
As long as
Yes.
they're super.
Insured basically, you're insured, but it's another thing when you make a claim. Because when you make a claim, it takes time.
Yep.
Hindi
That's
naman
why
lahat
others
ng
prefer
claims.
sila lang, they have preferred life insurance provider. That's why others just get from another one.
The thing is, kasi pag I will just explain the pros and cons of having a life insurance inside the super. Having a life insurance inside the super is a good way kasi mas mura yung fees. Kasi it's group life insurance. Tapos, you're not getting it in your pocket. Doon na nakukunin yung super fund. So, hindi ka na, it's not part of your life expense from your salary. That's a good thing. Now, medyo hindi siya maganda. Kasi it changes the coverage, it's not fixed cover. So, mag-change yan as you grow older. So, just be mindful. Pero yun lang sinasabi ko, meron life insurance. Pwede mo siya patanggalin, pwede mo siya ibalik. Ganun yun ngayon sa super fund. So, yung life insurance natin, meron tayong death, meron tayong total permanent disablement, and income protection.
Yeah.
Yung income protection dito, uso-uso. Kasi nga, what if something happens to you at work? So, check mo lang yung super fund mo kung nag-offer sila gano'n. Maganda talaga na chinecheck mo siya. So, aside from the investment, kasi yung tao na natutok sa investment, per se, and then, nakakaligtaan nila yung other benefits ng superannuation mo, which is also the life insurance. So, check mo.
Bro, sorry, ano lang. So yung life insurance, tatlo yun. Mayroong income protection, disability, tsaka death.
Yun yung basic.
Kahapon kasi, may tumawag sa akin na company, nag-o-offer sila ng health insurance din.
That's a different thing. Kasi that's your private doctor. That's for your hospitalization. So, it's a separate policy. Pero nasa sa'yo na yun.
Sorry, so automatic yung tatlo na yun, ha?
Depende. May super fund, automatic ang tatlo. Meron super fund, dalawa lang. Yung death and TPD. Yung death and TPD, always na ganyan.
My super fund doesn't include income protection like MST.
Yep.
Wala income protection.
Like income protection in MST.
Yung
So
sa-
in our company, Mercer, we have our own super fund. then our super fund doesn't have income protection. So that is why the company has
Hindi ko alam yung teacher.
implemented
Basta
a
disability
very
yung
long income protection for employees.
Yeah.
Terminal.
So, halimbawa, iba-iba na ang
Whatever,
employees
that's
sa tao. Iba-iba na rin yung,
Life
diba?
insurance?
Yeah. Yung
Okay, that's a good
company
question.
niya, diba? So,
That's
parang
a,
mag-a-apply ngayon panahon na to kung saan ako currently employed, right? Because I'm currently, kunyari nagpo-cover siya ng tatlo, it applies to me now. Those three.
that's a case-to-case basis. Kasi, first thing, pag nag-start ka na ng work, mag-start din ang contribution mo.
Yeah, one
So, it will be
last-
eaten up by fees. Until meron fees, covered ka, pag ma-zero yung account mo, hindi ka na-covered. Kasi wala na, hindi na
So,
binabayaran.
you really have to monitor it. That's what
Yes,
you're saying.
we have to monitor. That's why I'll explain. Ano ba tayo?
Oh, like your time.
So, I'll deal with rollovers later. So, ano na lang, ilang bang minutes ba? Sorry.
Take your time.
Hanggang bukas tayo dito, bro.
Ha?
Hanggang bukas tayo dito.
Overnight. Marami pa lang sa akin dyan.
Siya complicated. It's not complicated. Ano lang siya kasi siguro, people are really apathetic with superannuation. Kasi nga, they don't see the benefit until they retire. Saka pag they retire, like with my stepfather, he told me once, he used to work, dami siyang work, he was a bouncer before. When yung work niya, he worked for, like sa garbage. Niya ngayon, sabi niya parang, I think I have NK work from those super fund. Sabi ko sa kanya, sabi ko, nawawala lang siya. So yun nga, ang hirap. Mahirap yung marami kang work, tapos marami din super fund. Hindi mo siya nag-over, hindi mo consolidate. So, ano tawag dito, dapat tutok na tutok na din. Hindi rin tutok na daily basis. Practice na lang.
Pag naglipat ng
Aware ka.
So ngayon, ang question is, ano ba iba-ibang klase ng super fund? So I'll just give you like like a basic idea. Meron tayo, like I would say, 1, 2, 3, bigyan natin 5 na popular na types of super fund. Yung pinaka-popular na super fund is retail fund. So yung retail fund, ang advantage ng retail fund is usually offered by big four banks. So, halimbawa, Westbank, Hongbank, tsaka ANZ. Yung super fund nila, pag yung super fund mo sa kanila, it's a retail fund. What's the advantage of the retail fund? Madaming investment options. Yeah. The only thing about retail fund is malang fees. Malang fees.
Yeah.
Tapos ang retail fund, the profits of the super fund is usually the banks. Yun yung sa retail fund. Maganda yung retail fund kasi anyone can join.
Yep.
Next is, meron tayo tinatawag ng industry fund. Usually, industry funds mostly are specific to certain professions. So, halimbawa, magiging ano siya, industry fund pero public offer lang. So, it's specific to a certain profession but it's still open for everyone. So, halimbawa, kasi I administer Media Super. Media Super has around 100,000 members.
Showbiz.
Oh yeah. Nakakatawa. Kasi Media Super.
Sabi ko sa inyo, celebrity yan eh.
Kapatid niya, no? Kapatid ni Chris Hemsworth.
Wow!
So, natawa ako
Ganon
kasi
kaya?
nga, yung workmate ko, natatype na siya, uy, Hemsworth, kasi from Northern Territory. Yung manager na manager, tumitingin sa data. But ako lang, hindi ko lang sila kilala. So, yun. Yung Media Super, it's a super for actors. The one who works in like Channel 7, media, television, yun yung Media Super. So, meron tayo ditawag ng industry fund. So, I'll give an example. HESTA, yun yung super fund ng mga doctors, nurses, care, healthcare. And what else? CBAS, super fund, usually ng mga construction workers. Australian Super, yun yung super na pinakamalaki.
It's a peculiar setup
Oh.
because it's an industry fund in the sense that it's low cost and it's not really geared towards making a profit sa Australian Super Corporation, but rather it's also not an industry fund because it doesn't
Cater
cater to a specific industry. It caters to Australians in general.
Okay.
But it's classified as an industry fund because of the fact that it's low cost and it doesn't, it's not really for profit.
Anong super?
Australian super. Australian super actually is the super with the most number of members.
Biggest, it's also the biggest, it also has the biggest asset under management.
I think. Second yung AMP. Ang AMP is it's the biggest retail fund.
Yeah.
Kasi ang AMP malaking company and they deal with super, they also deal with life insurance. So, meron tayong retail fund, retail super fund, corporate super fund. Ano pa bang ibang super fund? Halimbawa, pag nag-work ka sa government, ano ba ang super fund? Yun yung tinatawag na public sector fund. Ang advantage ng work sa government, usually, it's more than 9.5%. So, halimbawa, kung nag-work ka sa Melbourne Uni, yung one of their perks, 17%, 17 to 18%. So, may additional na contribution dun sa employers, but then the employers sa government, to their super fund. So, yun yung advantage of working in a government. So, yung tinatawag yung public offer fund. So, medyo strict din sila in a sense kasi when I work, parang when we do rollovers to public sector funds, hindi ganun kadali. Medyo para sila. So, aside from that, meron din tayong tinatawag na corporate funds. So, like, for Mercer, we administer corporate funds. So, halimbawa, yun yung specialty ng Mercer. West Farmers, halimbawa, Coles. Ano ba bang kasali ng West Farmers? Bunnings. So, lahat ng employees ng Coles at saka Bunnings, they are part of a corporate fund. Kasi merong corporation na gusto nila yung trustee, yung board mismo, and the employees. So, para they can decide on their own terms, para mag-create sila ng fund roles within themselves. So, it's more convenient for them. Maganda ang corporate fund pag masyado malaki ang company, tapos nag-trade. So, halimbawa, with West Farmers, they call it West Farmers Superannuation Fund. That's actually administered by Mercer. So, that's one example of a corporate fund. Yung fund mo, hindi siya sa labas. In a sense, within dun sa company na with the worker, pero iba yung nag-administer. I think MSD funds, investment in Mercer's team. Yes. So, yun yung corporate fund. And lastly, yung
Sir, sa corporate funds ng Garrity, yung sino nag-manage ng mga corporate funds?
Like-
Sila nag-appoint ng managers nila? Or
are you talking about trustees?
in terms of
Usually-
sila yung gagawa ng board, and then sila yung mag-manage? Or Mercer ang nag-manage?
Depends
It depends. Pero bali, ang mangyayari doon, they call themselves as trustees. Usually trustees are the one, parang kinoconsult namin kasi I don't administer corporate funds, but I administer retail and industry funds. So, yung trustees, sila yung tinatawagan namin pag may mga, halimbawa, compliance issue. So, like, itong case, ipapa-approve, di ba? Okay lang ba? Halimbawa, yung member gusto ganito mag-roll over ng money, merong fund, merong account sa ibang fund, gano'n. Pero hindi siya pwede kasi nga merong fund rules. Kasi minsan may exception. So, yun yung trustees ng isa. Sila yung parang, in a sense, sila yung parang may-ari ng assets. Sila yung in charge. So, with corporate funds, instead sa labas, yung mga board members ng company, yung trustees. Kasi, siguro, feeling ko, ang board, gusto nila, may control sila with their fund. That's the point of having a corporate fund. So, kaysa, iba, ang ano naman din parang, hindi siya maganda tingnan pag masyadong malaking company, tapos sa labas pa nila paano pag may empleyado sasabihin na nila, sign up ka lang sa AMC. Maganda yung meron silang sarili. Maganda siya pag malaking company. Pag small time business, wag na kasi mahal yun. Mahal ang fees. Mahal ang binabayad ko sa Mercer, no?
Walang sweldo ng
Hindi naman ako nag-administer ng corporate funds eh. So, minsan nakakalito ang corporate funds kasi I have workmates who who administer MST funds, iba-iba yung rule per fund. So, iba yung rule ng Pulse, iba yung rule ng Channel 7, iba ang rule ng meron ding Philips na gumagawa ng gadgets. Kasi yung super fund din nila with Mercer. So, yun yung specialty ng Mercer na happening sa corporate funds. And lastly, meron tayong tinatawag na self-managed super fund. So, sumuso siya ngayon kasi for the main purpose of buying property. Magkano nga, Jerry, yung parang percent of your self-managed?
May mga lenders, most lenders would go up to 80%. Pero, sorry, some lenders would go up to 80%. So, kailangan meron kang 20% worth ng cash sa super mo para makabili ng property. And they also add 10% liquidity, may liquidity rules sila. So, meaning kung bibili ka ng property na, let's say, 500,000, yung value, ang kailangan mong cash sa SMSF mo is 20%. So, 100, and then another 10% for liquidity as cash buffer. So, bago ka ma-approvehan ng loan, kailangan may cash lang gano'n kalaki. So, may 20% plus 10%, essentially 30% ang kailangan mo. Kaya, huwag ka muna mag-SMSF kung maliit pa yung funds mo.
Otherwise,
Like what Marvin was explaining in Jan, kakainin lang ng fees yung mga yan. So, kailangan strategic ka yung pag-shift mo ng from a managed fund to an SMSF.
kasi you always have to think about it. Pag self-managed super fund, ano yung ginagawa ng administrator, hindi yung gagawin. Kasi tapos, his ATO is ATO, parang watchdog
regulated
ATO. Yung ATO mabusisi yun. So, every year you check na.
And then also to add lang, if you're really interested in a self-managed super fund, you have to ensure that you know self-managed super fund can be a good vehicle to purchase real estate assets. But if you want to set up your self-managed super fund for the sole purpose of other investments, you have to ensure that you know what you're getting into. Alam mo anong bibili mong stocks or anong bibili mong funds. Otherwise, I think if you're not an expert there, it would probably be in your best interest and in the best interest of your fund for you to just stay with the retail and industry funds, because these are managed by investment managers who know what they're doing. So if you don't know what you're doing, you could probably it could be a very big recipe for disaster. So you might lose a portion of your money if you don't know what you're doing.
So, I think yun lang siguro about the superannuation. Hindi pa lang namin na
We use it for importing, exporting, and all that stuff.
What do you mean with self-managed super fund?
Business? No.
Your super fund, you should always remember it's a preserved money. So hindi mo siya magagalaw in special cases. I'll give you one. So, we do have what we call early release payments. But if you're in financial hardship, you can get your super fund. Pero, kailangan niya ng evidence na tumatanggap siya ng payments from central bank. Pero it's not really advisable kasi it is the purpose. Bakit mo kukunin yung super fund mo? Dapat it's always the last resort. Parang wala ka na. Kasi nga, magre-retire ka eh. So, it is the purpose of saving for your retirement. Kung gusto mo lang kukunin yung super fund mo. So, dapat, as much as possible, iiwan mo lang yung super fund. The best thing you can do is to check for the fees, compare the fees, and the investment performance, and also for the life insurance component. That's the best thing you can do with your super fund. Yeah.
About kasi syempre mostly na tayo our company might not really post improvement not stay there for so many years, then may tendency na mag-change yung funds natin, yung may super in terms of lower or something.
Actually, you don't need to worry because it's heavily, superannuation industry is heavily regulated. Meron tayong iba-ibang government agencies na nakatulong sa super.
No, you said yung kawala ko yun. Kapag may iba na has work, and then at times nai-pick-up lang ng fee.
Kasi it's a personal circumstance. Kasi nga, pag iba-iba yung work, nagsasign up ka lang kung anong i-offer ng employer. Ito yung super fund.
So what should we do?
Tapos, i-sign ka na.
Yeah.
Next naman, ito yung super fund mo. Sabi ko na super fund, allows you to report it to ATO. And then we'll classify that fund as loss. So pag loss na yung super fund mo, doon ka na sa ATO lalapit, ibibigay mo yung tax file number mo. Sila yung mag-retrieve sa lahat ng super fund mo. Pero nga, kawawa ka na din kasi kinahin.
I'll probably add something to what John said. No? Case in point, my wife, when we entered Australia here 2 years ago, she first started as a contract role. So technically her employee was Ace. So she had a super there. She nominated Australian Super as her super provider. And then I think 4 months after, she was absorbed by Transfield Services. So technically at that point, she had a different, she already had a different employer. And
Yeah.
Transfield Service have their own preferred super supplier. So it could be some other apart from Australian Super. So ayun, so CBC said, no, I'll still
stick with.
stick to Australian Super because most of the super naman is portable eh. So you can take that one wherever you go and then just tell your HR, I want my money to be paid here. So that's it. So when she joined her current company 2 years ago, they also have a different super fund. So but she said, I'll stick with Australian Super. So moral of the story is 3 different companies. So if she wasn't proactive sa pagpili ng superannuation fund niya, she would have 3 funds now. And
Yeah.
probably along the way she could have rolled over. Yeah, rolled over is an option. But there's also another option which is you can be proactive with your super. Yeah, it's portable naman, so just make sure that your HR knows it upon before your first salary. Let them know I want it paid here.
Yeah.
It should be fine.
Basta kung ilang matagal na yung company na pinag-join na no, for example, 10 years ago, most likely, kung sino mo kontakin.
Okay.
Like, halimbawa kasi yung sa asawa ko, she's din mo, yung isang year.
Okay.
So, hindi na yung naskasin. So,
Yung super
it's
fund
been
niya.
like 20 years na siya nag-work.
Yung sa lost super mo dyan, it could be
20
possible.
years na siya nag-work, hindi niya ginamit.
So has he been working with different companies?
Yes.
Ano na yun? Papa-track niya sa ATO.
So, hindi
Yeah.
ako kontakin. Right now, he
Hindi
works
ako
with the
kontakin.
government. Right now, he works with the government.
If he works for the government, he must
Before,
have a
but
public sector fund.
But 15 years ago, different private companies.
Sa ngayon siguro, public sector fund, pero back in the days, iba-iba yung super fund.
Yes.
So the best way is to contact ATO, give his tax file number,
Yes.
tapos yung ATO magsasearch.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there
There's-
is options.
I was gonna say, there's micro.
Yun,
Pag
Oh,
nag-sign up
sign
ka,
up.
tapos i-link mo yung ATO.
ATO, yeah.
And then,
That's
makakalaman
fine.
ka sa ATO. May
Option
page
to-
doon na
Ah,
look for lost
Lost
super.
super,
yeah.
Click mo lang, they're gonna look for the lost super. They'll come back to you in a few days
okay.
na ito dito yung mga super mo. And then nominate mo sila sa isang sa card.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
So matatrack yun na ATO, parang tax file number dito.
That's
Yeah,
Kaya
Yeah.
napaka-importante na when you sign up for a super fund, you always have to, it's actually optional, but it's preferred that you put your tax
Yeah,
file
fan.
number.
Yep.
And it's also
It's a way of retrieving.
apart from retrieving, yung tax file number is very important when you apply in a super. Kasi yung super, as what Nelsie has mentioned earlier, it's not really your super guarantee is 500. Ang mga credits mga credits sa super fund, it's not really 500. So well, 500 will be credited, but it will be subject to tax
Contribution.
of 15%. So magiging 500, 15%, whatever it is. But if you don't have a PFN, when you apply when you apply sa superannuation fund mo, you will be charged at your top marginal rate. So it could be 35%. So yeah.
Kasi meron tayong natawag ng TFN tax.
So mas malaki mas malaki
Kasi feeling ng tao, hindi bibig sa'yo yung TFN. Or it's actually out. So,
Bro, paano halimbawa sa trabaho ko, ito yung super fun company ko, tapos paano ko siya i-transfer? Gusto ko magbago ng...
Rollover. Okay. So, hindi ko pala natapos yung rollover. Ngayon, madali ang rollover because you can do it online. We call it IRR, Initial Rollover Request. You can do it either ways. There are 3 ways of doing rollover. Pwede sa previous fund mo, pwede sa current fund mo, saka sa ATO. Yung sa ATO, paper application, medyo matagal. Yung kasi yung dalawang super fund, yung either dalawang fund, kailangan APRA. Pero iba yung rollover to sa self-managed super fund, iba process yun, OCC yun. Pero yung parang dalawang malaking super fund, halimbawa, with my case, kasi ngayon I work with Mercer, so yung fund ko, yung dati kong fund, HESTA. So yung ginawa ko, nag-login ako sa MST, sinulat, pinutin ko yung details ng HESTA, yung unique superannuation number nila, identification, and then my ID number. Yung details na yun, i-communicate yun ng MST sa HESTA. Tapos yung HESTA, pag nag-decide yung name, lahat, address, bibigay nila yung communication doon sa MST. Tapos yung pera mo, so dali lang yun.
Are there especially types of businesses that you could qualify for the self-managed fund, or is there like as a category what you know?
Para pwede mag-self-managed fund. Anyone can actually have.
What I'm saying is, are there, like for example, real estate? That's a business, and but you can do that. You know, are there other categories like as I told you, I asked you about import-export. You said no, you can't do that.
No, I think it's because it's regulated.
Yeah.
So you can
So
able to
which one?
only real estate and manage funds and
You
stocks.
can use your self-managed
You
fund.
can use it to run a business.
Yeah.
Because as what John mentioned, the amount is preserved. So if you're using it as a capital to your business, it would be very complicated to track which one are the preserved amounts and everything. So that's why, as opposed to yung real estate naman kasi, ano yun eh, yung asset mo, it's not gonna be, it's tangible, it's not gonna be,
So it has to be a tangible asset.
Yes. But it's really real estate, managed funds and stock investments, and probably fixed income and cash deposits. That's it basically.
Oh, okay. So
It's like, in layman's terms, parang ginawa mo lang collateral yung self-managed fund. As your...
Just to add to that. Kasi di ba ang purpose ng super for retirement fund, di ba? So, Joseph, kung gagamitin mo siya sa business, ang taas ng risk ng business na malugi, mawawala yung retirement fund mo. So, in that sense siguro, kaya highly regulated.
So at this point in time, ang pwede mo lang is, usually it's for property. Yun lang yun. Wala nang iba. So it's a preserve, kasi it's a preserve amount. And there's a certain age for you can't withdraw. You can't just say, parang, sasabihin ko sa sarili, mag-withdraw, wala lang akong pera. So, withdraw ako sa super fund, hindi pwede yun. Hindi talaga pwede yun.
I have to contribute to my super fund, and the thing is, I can actually take it as a tax back because I don't want to business.
If it's personal, actually, I think you're talking about personal contribution. Kasi you can take it as a tax deduction.
Yeah.
So
I was
kasi it's
thinking of
after
just
tax
doing
na eh.
my own,
Yeah.
my own, managing it on my own. This way, that's your fees. I know where it's going.
But if you don't mind, meron kang business?
Huh?
Nag-business ka?
Yeah, trucking
Trucking.
removals.
So do you have a super fund, like a personal contribution?
Wala pa, but I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's good one kasi it's a tax incentive strategy din.
Yeah.
Kasi you can apply a certain amount of your personal contribution as a tax deduction.
Actually, 100%. It's 100% tax deductible. Your contribution.
Kasi usually with our work, ang tawag kasi nun section 290. So, they're parang kino-compute out from your personal contribution, out from your account balance, magkano madideduct ng tax nila na makiklaim nila from their taxes. So, pag nagpa-practice kami ganun, usually mga high income earners. So, ibabalik namin yung letter sa kanila. Sabi namin, ito yung based on your personal contribution, ito yung pwede mo madideduct yung tax. That's what we call section 290. Pero may mga conditions yun dapat within the financial year. Hindi ka pwede mag-deduct ng tax, sasabihin mo ngayon, tapos 2 financial years ago, kasi tapos na. So, daming conditions. Pero I think it would be better na magpapakonsult ka if you really need that advice. Maghanap ka
I'm
ng
just thinking
financial.
about it for now. Yeah, for now, just one is see what my options are.
Kasi meron tax incentive for personal contribution kasi nga it's usually common for employees. Now the question is, if you're self-employed, how am I going to contribute, say, for my retirement? So, yun yung tinatawag personal contribution. So, binabigyan nila ng bonus, na parang bonus, sige, ita-tax that na. So, subject for, like, makaka-claim na may tax nila. So, yun. So, any more questions?
Offhand, very rough estimate, if you can give pwede naman mag-disclaimer, pero what do you think is the best fund to build fund?
Who is the best?
Right now.
Love your own!
Because right now, we have the choice kung sino may super namin, di ba? So we choose. We don't know.
Pressure na.
Dami kasi.
Yeah.
Ang dami talagang super fun. So, it's up to you. Usually the common is, if you have a financial advisor, kung ano yung in-offer na product. If your financial advisor is from AFP, most likely AFP ang super fund mo. Ganun yun.
Yeah.
Or, kung ano, usually, ang anong first na super fund mo when you work, yun na yung super fund mo for the rest of your life.
But which is not necessarily that's the most.
No, there's no such thing as. Usually, it's hard to gauge. Kasi there are too many ways of like gauging. Aside from the investments, they also have to check into fees. I would suggest, meron tayong website na tawag stockspot.com.au. They're like parang a non-for-profit, parang maliit na group na parang silang watchdog for different super funds. So, every month, nagbibigay sila ng free newsletters. Chine-check nila, sasabihin nila, ang tawag kasi na meron sa tinatawag na fat cap. Na ibig sabihin, alam mo yung fat cap, yung mga super funds na maliit ang performance, tapos ang laki-laki ng fees. Pero I will tell you, pinaka-common yun sa retail fund.
Which is the banks.
Yes.
Sumunod laki ng fees nila.
So apart from the website that Jan just mentioned, there's also other websites. I don't know if you've heard of it. There's Chant West. There's Morningstar. There are other websites still. You can Google that one actually.
Pero pwede mo naman kasi i-roll over. That's the good thing. Pag ayaw ng performance, i-roll over sa gusto mo.
And then yung sa
Walang charge kasi ang roll over.
yung sa mga websites na yun, if you read your question basically was on performance, now which one is the best. So usually these types of websites will give you the compounded annual growth rate for a specific fund for that particular superannuation company over a certain period. Like if you want 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, even probably 10 years. So if you're just interested in performance alone, you can look at that metrics. But again, super is a bit more complicated than that because we are insurance and then there's also fees involved. So yeah.
Baka if you're after the insurance, you might be looking for a super fund who will give you bigger coverage. Kasi iba-iba ang cover amount at that age. So halimbawa, I'm Mr. Virgin and Media Super. Iba yung cover amount at that age. So at age 34, iba-iba yung cover. Baka yun yung parang priority mo. So, depende din yung ano yung personal circumstance mo. So,
Depends on your goals.
All up to you.
How does that investment work in? I don't get it. You were telling me, like, for example, if you quit, contributing at some point in time, it's just going to go down and go down and go down. So how would that be a good investment if it keeps going down and going down and going down?
Because you're not contributing. It's a case-to-case basis. Kasi with that case, kasi nga, you've been working with different companies, you have heaps of super funds, it hasn't been active because there's no contributions. So most likely, it will go down because it will be eaten up by admin fees. It's not like going down in a month. But in the long run, liliit siya ng liliit. Kasi nga, it will be eaten up by admin fees.
So bro, may pwedeng instance na mag-negative ka o ma-zero out yung ano mo pag
Mag-close na lang siya.
It's possible.
Oo, yun usually. Sa mga, meron tayong tinatawag na, yung sa mga developed countries, they come here for working holiday visa. So when they work, syempre meron sa super fund. Hindi nila alam yun usually kasi mga bata yan.
So that's
Tapos,
why
yung contribution na lang, they just work here for 3 months. Tapos balik sila sa their country. Yung contribution na nila around 100. Tapos, wala kasi silang pakialam. So meron insurance fees, meron admin fees. Meron din investment performance. Pero at some point in time, magiging zero yun.
So, what if, for example, you have 100,000, right? In your super fund. Obviously, at some point in time, you stop you're working, eh? So you have that in your super fund. Is it possible to still go down?
No,
No, that wouldn't go down. That's too big for it to go down. It's a case-to-case basis. Kasi in my case, $100 yun yung there. So, what happens with that? Tutubo yun kasi mas malaking chance kasi you already have that account balance
Big
na malaki. So most likely, yung fees kasi it's just by percentage and parang fixed amount. So I'll give you an idea. Insurance, lagi natin yung insurance fees. Meron iba't others lang naman. Ganun. Kasi nga, with working holiday visas, yung contribution nila 100, most likely sila yung ma-affected ng fees. Hindi naman yung 100K, hindi talaga.
100K is too big.
Too big for it to be...
It's too big to fail.
Oo.
So usually ang growth ng mga balanced super funds na yung mga my super options is usually around 5 to 7% or
Per
maybe
year.
higher per year. So at 100,000, your theoretical amount na 100,000, you're talking about 5,000 to 7,000 in income, in additional capital growth in dollar terms per year. So net of fees that your 100,000 fund will become 107,000 at the end of the financial year. But there's also fees involved, diba? Pero your fees definitely will not be more than
1,000.
1,000. Usually ang mga fees lang, super fund fees usually amounts to just around 1.5% a year. So 5% minus 1.5%. So you're talking about a net gain of 3.5. So yung 5,000 mo less 1.5, it will become 1,3,500 after the end of the year. So those big amounts generally they won't be zeroed out unless of course there is a fundamentals failure sa underlying investments whereby your investments will be written off by whatever reason. So that's the only way it will go down. So sorry for talking too much, pero example yung earlier sharing ko about my wife. She had three jobs. So yung first 3 months niya was in with Ace. So if she wasn't proactive with her super investments, so she was just given an SG for like 3 months, no? So that was 3 years ago. So chances are, if she didn't do anything about it, yung 3 months worth of contribution niya, it will still earn, but also there will be insurance that will be deducted there. There will be fees that will be deducted there. Probably by now zero million.
So,
Because it's too small. It's too small to survive.
yeah, 100K.
Kasi diba sa investment, we always hear about diversification. So, at the end of the day, parang mas maganda yan. Parang offhand, like, parang mas maganda na yung may super ng isang tao more than one, just to diversify in a way.
No, it's not really diversity.
No,
It's not
you're over
diversification.
diversification.
So, one is just like,
And that's already
that's like what I said a while ago. There's some super funds offer life stage. So I think it would be better for you if kung pipili ka ng super fund that has life stage because it changes the investment mix as you grow older kasi binibase nila sa type of age bracket meron. So, halimbawa, 50 years old to 60, ang life stage nun is more balanced kasi nga, hindi na sa mga approaching aggressive age. But it's all up to you.
Just to add to that, yung pag-spread mo siya magiging dalawa yung set of fees mo.
Yes.
So, sa example kanina, magiging yung 1.5 na fee, magiging 3% na. So, yung net gain mo na 5%, instead na maging dapat 3.5, magiging 2%.
Yeah.
And then, apart from that one, yeah, you are only diversifying with a super company.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, their underlying assets will still be the same Telstra share, will still be the same NAP share, will still be the same share. So whatever it is, so parehas pa rin siya.
Yeah.
So,
Dahil lang ng fees.
Yeah, it just doubles up the fees. And of course, 20 years from now, dalawang ECT mo. So, yeah,
Salamat.
yeah.
Salamat.
Question, may nalugi na ba kung super funds? Wala. Wala.
Oh,
Wala pa so
it's
far.
not super fun kasi it's
Maraming watch to.
Yes.
Highly regulated.
So, meron tayong ASIC, Australian Securities and Industries Commission.
Investment.
Investment Commission, right? Yeah. But then the main watchdog sa super funds is APRA. So, kasi Pilipinas yung parang insurance commission. Yung ASIC parang SPC sa Pilipinas. Yung APRA parang kasi yung insurance company din sa Pilipinas highly regulated.
And also yung ang underlying assets ng superannuation investment mo, it's not really dependent sa performance ng super fund mo. Like, say for instance, Australian Super, for whatever reason, will become bankrupt. Your underlying assets will still be there because it's not connected naman. So, Australian Super is just like a trustee or an investment manager. So it's different from it's totally different. But if their investment will fail, that's another thing. So, but again, because these investments are very diversified, it won't be really bankrupt. You will just probably experience some blips every once in a while, downward blips every once in a while, but
Yeah.
over a course of 20 years, those blips are insignificant.
Saka end of the day, a percentage lang naman siya ng salary natin. So you make most of the salary. So you also save
Yeah.
save, and it's just a portion.
It's just one strategy
Yeah,
managing
one.
your, like looking for your, parang tinitignan mo yung super fund. There are so many ways of like maximizing para sa sarili mo. So, one way is your super fund. So, marami pa naman ibang ways. So, yun nga, yung sa watchdog, speaking about watchdog, sa Mercer office, katapat na namin ATO.
Oo, so whenever we execute trades, nandun yung mga ano ba yung ginagawa mo? Yan.
Yung ATO talaga nandun na sa mga.
Yung ano pala, question, yung in terms ng sa fees, and you mentioned yung award of 1.5% nung funds.
Roughly.
Okay. Ano bang consider nyo as pinakamababa, middle, and high?
Mababang fees. Usually, gusto na mababang fees, industry funds. Hindi ako familiar with it. Dito naman advice mo. Pero pag industry fund, dalawa sa isa. Pag tinatawag na industry fund, maliit lang. Sa retail fund, maraming siya. Kaya something like yan.
So, with regard to investment, there's a general, in our investment world, there's a general notion that the more complex your investments will be, the higher will be your fee. So, say for instance, if you're invested in mga cash, time deposits, that's the lowest fee. Kasi that's very easy. Lagay ka lang ng answer is the lesser complex your investment option is, the lower your fee is.
Question, why would you go for that?
If you want to maximize your kasi it's overall investment process. Aside from savings, consider your super fund as an investment. But it's a preserved amount. Which usually it's not liquid. Yun nga sabi ko, you can just say, so makapwito, unless you reach the retirement age. Pero kahit na, some other funds, when they reach retirement age, pinapanap them for test. Kasi dapat, you are really retired na. May ibang funds, so talaga, maghanap ka ng employer, pag nag-work ka, maghanap ka ng employer termination. Nakakawa ko ay super fund. So, any more questions? I think medyo ano na tayo.
Last question.
Last question.
For example, wala akong work, pero pinagsasabi ako is, yung sinabi ko kanina na pwede mo muna ng super, pero half ng government mo to pay. Paano ako mag-apply ng super? Doon ba yun sa my super?
I would suggest, pag wala kang work, pwede ang husband mo contribute for you.
Tapos
Kaya
may
tayo-
part pa yun ng government ang magbabayad kasi kunwari, for example, low income yung salary.
Pwede. Pwede ko alam ang process, pero pwede yun. Try to look it up online. Kasi marami naman tayong ways to contribute super kasi as an employer, there's also personal. And yun nga, government co-contribution, pag personal contribution. Pero sa yung tinatawag na spouse contribution, yung partner mo na nag-work, pwede siya mag-contribute para sa iyo.
And then, some of the fees yung government.
Kasi dito nga, hindi naman sa nag-ano, pero kasi divorce dito. Pero merong divorce, ako komplikado kasi nga, may claim yung partner sa super fund na kaya meron family law split, super split, which ayaw ko. Kasi nga,
Nakakatakot ng super split.
meron yun. Kasi tagal ng process. Napaka-komplikado. Daming papeles. So, nangyayari yung mga ganun. So, yun.
Pero it's so advisable, you advise it while not working. For example, nag-study lang ako tapos not working. It's advisable to
Kung meron ka extra money, why not?
It's advisable.
Yes. Pero kung
Para
hindi mo talagang money,
meron na ako.
pwede wag mo na.
Kinakaroon namin ng meron na ako ng stroke. So, how do you pronounce it?
Oo, see.
May mga pronunciation.
Supper.
Dinner time.
Dinner time.
So, it's advisable. Kasi parang namin parang
Pero pag wala ka naman talaga enough money to contribute for super fund, meron kang priority expenses, eh, wag mo na.
It's hard to just iba kasi super kasi may underlying cost siya eh. So baka kung mag-invest ka ng 500 now and then you leave it there, chances are after 2 years, maubos siya.
Ang ma-advise ko, husband mo, spouse mo.
yun nga yung naisip ko eh.
It has to be gradual contribution. It's not just one now. So probably for at least quarterly, probably.
Yeah.
So any more questions?
Maraming salamat po.
I hope marami kayo natutunan.
Yes! Yes! Meron na lang.
Advisable in terms of super kasi it's possible na madami ang companies na. Kaya talaga consolidate
It's really advisable. Ini-encourage din yan ng government. Kasi nga,
Yes.
I'll give you a rough estimate. There are around $17 billion in cost. Meron ako.
Hanapin natin.
Ha?
Hanapin natin.
Oo nga. Naglulukuhan kami sa workplace kasi meron lawsuit for the worth 50K. Sabi ng workmate ko, tawagin mo na. Claim na siya, pero yun nga.
Pero whether they're not exploring these people, they have already
Maybe they change address. Letter mails.
So they do have Medicare.
Ah?
They do have Medicare.
Walang contribution.
We're not obligated to inform super companies are obligated to inform a company to be proactive.
Hindi lang. Basta nagsasend kami ng mail.
That's it.
Pag letter mail,
Hindi ko
true.
marami siyang laws. Kasi nasabi ko, 20 years siya nag-work. Kasi early 40 siya. 27 years na siya nag-work. 15 years sa government. Hindi na ito consolidation siya.
Hindi siya actually lost fund, I would think.
Sabi niya,
Kasi nga, eligible pa rin siya for contribution, di ba? Kita plus niya.
Sana hindi pa consolidate na lang.
Consolidate.
Ay, ginagawa na 10-minute break. Yaw.
Sige.
Maraming salamat po.
I hope marami kayo natutulungan.
Yes. Maraming salamat.
This is my boss.
Boss!
Boss! Paano yung
Shout out!
Hindi rin pala talaga mag-a-add
So, pwede tayo mag-break. Kahit din tayo. Mas marami pa.
Bring
Mga
on
10 minutes. And then, after 10 minutes, we'll start with the next.
Madami pa. Super. Hindi natin ito 1.5.
Sino gusto ng coffee, tea, juice,
Coffee.
coffee?
Sayang yung 15% yun. Kasi 1.5 pa rin yung pag-uwi.
Pero pag
Ayun, ano,
then super fast ka, short stays. Kasi based din sa time frame.
Mars? Mars sugar?
No,
Over the year. Thinking
chances are, pare, kung ano, kung 10 jobs ka, so,
parang ka lang
maliliit. And then, maliliit yung balance mo na, ano, yung super mo, maliliit yung balance. So, again, I go back to my wife's example, 5 years after, tapos yun, definitely, I can assure you, lalo lang may insurance option ka.
So dapat
Roll over.
Madali na roll over.
Ay, yun, nakalimutan ko na. What if kung...
Huwag na lang ako sabihin.
Sa 10 tao. Kasi isang tao, pwede ko mag-roll over sa ibang
Walang fees ang rollover.
Wala siyang fees, but you'll be eaten. It will be eaten up by yung mga buy-sell spreads.
Yes, buy sell spread. And some, meron pa lang iba.
May ibang fees pa rin.
Oh, meron.
Yung first we're charging 135 per rollover. There are fees. Sometimes there are fees. Ibabawas yun sa, kasi, say for instance, from Mercer ka, yung 10,000, bawasan yung 150 siguro.
Bro, matrack mo ba yung contribution mo? Matrack mo yun kung saan nila ini-invest? Oo, saan?
So, wala na, or doon na mismo sa...
Hindi, ang aim lang ng investment, hindi talaga yun.
Ay, hindi mo malalaman kung saan ka. Kung saan ka
Hindi siya ganun ka-granular. But meron sa, I think I'm not sure it's obligated, so pero malalaman mo kung saan investment manager sila, invested upon. Sa super funds.
Sa PDS yun. Sa PDS.
Nakikita ko, pero hindi mo makikita na meron lang. That's too complicated. That's too granular.
Sumabit sa Mercer ka rin, like, kasi sinabi ko sa kanya na plan ko talagang mag-enroll sa dalawang financial planning. Eh, sobrang interested ako dun sa tao. Ring ako yung gawin. So, ikaw rin nag-take ka.
Ikaw ang superannuation.
Which is more specific. So, kasi nga, yung financial planning, parang ang dami ng tao. Pero meron ako sa would you suggest that? Kasi alam mo, pa-enroll na talaga ako 2 months ago, pero parang nag-stop na ako kasi nag-enroll ako.
It's fine. And then yung
Kasi pang sa akin, but wala pa ako. And I find it, hindi na pero ako experience. So parang nagdadalawang isip ako na mag-accounting pa rin ba ako? Those topics na kasi sa akin, real estate ko. So parang may mga daw yung wealth management ko.
nice, pero it's sometimes a bit complicated to break into the industry. Kailangan nila na local experience, and of course kailangan nila like people who will get
Kasi ikaw, how do you work?
So yun na tayo.
Ano na daw? pumunta sa-
Ganito na yung workbook before pa. Back in the Philippines, back in Singapore.
Pero may existing super fund.
Like ano po, anong tawag?
Sa Philippines, I worked sa BPI.
Apo.
So trader,
Pwede ka naman personal
equities.
fund.
And then sa Singapore, I worked for a while sa stock lending.
Basta,
So it's really
Barclays, and then FX, settlements, and then here's investment operations.
For me,
Pero thinking about retirement.
Well, I would say swerte na din eh.
Pero
I'm
paano
looking at
naging
it, the way you're
gusto
explaining it to me, it
Ah.
sounds like
Kasi yun
Pumasok, this was weird.
at the end of it all,
Pumasok sa
the-
Mercer,
the
not as,
margins,
not in the fund management business, but sa, ano, parang, check rec.
Yun nga sinasabi nila, parang kasi basta maka-entry point ka lang.